Hello and welcome to Inkpot. This is going to be part 5 of the Let's Paint Horror series. I'm Grant Smith and let's get started on this. Now, I was debating on if I'm going to be doing the back of the hands or if I want to be doing the let me just turn the mic down a little bit here. If I wanted to do the backdrop or if I wanted to do the hands in the foreground. But I think I'm just going to play around with the background a bit since we haven't really done much work on anything but figures in this series so far. So I thought it might be a nice change to work a little bit on stuff that's in the background. Now, often what I'll do is I will mask out the area and then kind of get my basic stuff in there from that masked area there. My basic shapes and everything. Trying to get that so that it would be kind of intersecting with the line below. I'm just gonna turn off my my skin palette layer. I really don't need that anymore. I think I'm gonna stick with this kind of green tone that I have in the mirror there for a lot of the backdrop here. I'm just making my brush bigger. Pick that. I'll make that even bigger yet. I'm just putting that in there. When you make these brushes this big, sometimes it will wanna you'll get some slowdown where it's not quite real time when you're trying to fill out these spaces, large spaces, quickly. Make that even bigger. Right there, it just chugs. I'll do a stroke and it's still going. Do a stroke, it's still going. Alright. Bring that brush back down to more manageable size. I'm going to use the blender and make this fairly large as well. And just going to smooth out those transitions. I kept them kind of streaky in the mirror section, just because a mirror kind of might have some streaks of light across it, and I thought it just added something to. But for the actual background, I don't want that as much. Deselect that selection layer there. Take a look at it. And I'm just going to put it back on for a second. Now, we kind of have light coming from this direction and a little bit coming up in this direction here. So I'm just trying to decide kind of where that cast shadow it's going to kind of be. You have a little bit of shadow on this side here. And she's going to cast a little bit of shadow on that backdrop too. We'll just see it in the back kind of area there, and a little bit up in the top where the hair is there. And along the top edge there for sure. That's where I'm probably going to have the most extreme kind of representation of that cat shadow from the mirror here. Just casting more cast shadow in the background there. Just like that. Alright. I'm just gonna go in and make that area smoother. Maybe even just go over it with the... To do that, you just press select or shift. You click it once and you press shift. You click it again, press shift. You can get kind of more of a solid kind of line there. And that's just gonna be kind of the secondary shadow that is kind of showing up there. I might lighten up those parts, but we'll see once we actually get the kind of color of the mirror in there. But I am going to try to find... There's the mirror background layer. I just want to make sure that's above the mirror background layer there. So I can actually put in like an inner shadow in there. Now I do kind of want a kind of cherry wood looking wood here, so I'm just going to grab that and up the size of that. I do like how you kind of do get with this brush, you do get that kind of a little bit of that texture, kind of like wood grain texture already built in, kind of. Make sure I bring that all the way down. Oops. Sometimes press the wrong button. Make sure I'm still in the right color. Alright, make that a little bit smaller. So I'll go in there and make sure I got similar separation there. Grab that color again. Right now I'm just kind of working on getting the shapes of the basic shapes of the wood there and first. Not really worrying too much about tone right now on like, as in like the size of and direction of lighting, I mean. Just kind of getting some shapes in there to start with. Working with the screen pretty upright, just to, I'm trying a different kind of seating position where I'm not hunched over my drawing tablet. See if that helps with the back issues I've been having lately. Alright, now I'm just gonna grab a little bit lighter tone and push that a little more orangey yet. Okay. I'm gonna make that a lot smaller brush. I'm just gonna put on an inner edge here from the light casting on it. Alright, so one thing I just noticed is that I need this to be below this layer. And I just need to make sure that's selected. Make sure my mirror background, I delete that. So the mirror background can still go over it. And let's keep going here. And keep forgetting that I should be going all the way through there. That one's a little off and where it needs to be. There we go. Trying to figure out where I'm at the edge here of that. This is actually going to go all the way across. There's going to be a little piece back in there. Now we should see a little bit of the side of this, but I'm just going to be using mostly like just the dark, same color we used as the shadow tone, kind of to create that. Then we're going to take a little bit of this and just give it a little edge highlight on the back of it there. And make sure. And grab that again. And make sure this section has a little bit of that too. And grab that tone again, or that color. Let's add in a little bit of an inner bezel there, and take that one and put that again across the top. Now I keep pressing the wrong button here. The one thing about having my monitor more in this position is I cannot see my keyboard as well. Just kind of going by feel, and sometimes I'm missing the key that I actually want to be hitting. Just gonna make that a little wider, and that's just gonna be the inner kind of shadow cast on the mirror there, and I didn't put that over enough. I'll just get that. Yeah, that's better. And make sure that the bevels are kind of actually casting a little bit of shadow onto the piece there. Now I am going to be putting kind of like a texture too, kind of over the whole glass, so it's kind of like looks like an older mirror. So I took a photo reference of a mirror with glass that's been kind of aged, so I have that kind of as reference right now. So we'll do something like that when we're doing more of the finishing on the piece here. I didn't have any specific I didn't have any specific mirror in mind while designing this. I just looked at a couple different ones and took little aspects of different ones of different old mirrors. And I'll keep pressing the wrong button. Alright. I need this tone again. I want to give a little indication that there's a ridge kind of down the center here. And in my original sketch I had it kind of ending at breaking at one point, so we'll probably do something like that. Just at the point where these the actual pivot is going to be, pivoting mechanism, kind of swivel mechanism there for the piece. We'll do that a little bit at the top too, make it look like it's rounding there. And in here do something similar. It's saving the recovery save, so after that I always do an actual save, just because I don't like working with recovery files. They're not always the best. They're not always exact what you thought you were getting, so let's make sure I make a actual save after I see that come up there. I want it kind of a mix color between these two, so I'm just gonna bring that one kind of up to the edge and mix those two a little bit. I'm just gonna get my blender here, make that a lot smaller, and push the color, and we got a little bit of better kind of mix there. Shadow color there. Let's bring that back in just to smooth out the line there too. I'm just going to turn off the background sketch for now. I'm going to grab a little bit of this darker tone here. Let's bring that in there. Just in that little gutter section there of that. Grab a little bit of that dark shadow tone again there. Just want this kind of to pop out a little bit more. It's a little soft right now. I'll just keep lightening up some stuff here. And adding more contrast to the area. Oops. Always pressing the wrong key there. It's gonna be too bright, isn't it? Oh no, it's not, but just need to fix that. Always pressing the wrong one again. It's always when I try to do Alt, I'm pressing the Windows key. Oh yeah, I do use a PC and not a Mac, which a lot of people are always shocked by, because I think for a few years, I think that the art industry was kind of dominated by Mac users. At this point, it really comes down to what the hardware is and what the cheapest hardware is. There's not too big a difference between using one or the other, really. A lot of it is what can you afford, and what user experience you like. Should probably know how to use both fairly well, but a lot of these programs that are nearly identical, you're just switching over one hotkey for another, usually, if anything is different. These aren't lining up correctly. Should be kind of in line with whatever that is. So I'm thinking it needs to come up a little bit more. Now there should be an edge kind of here, so this should be kind of like that. We're gonna get the highlight kind of coming up across that, and this should be actually probably be opposite. So this should be dark. This can be light and on the side here. And this needs to come up here. I need to fix that more though. It's still not quite right. It's not gonna be that thick of a chunk of wood for this section here. Let's just fix that now. Grab that shadow color and there. I think I'm gonna bring that more over to, just gonna have the shadow kind of up here and coming more, just to indicate more that this shape is angled, this mirror. So shadow should be going kind of straight up and down from there, and this should be going up until it hits that piece. Still have a little bit of shadow edge there, just to pull it off the background there. Also do that with some sort of highlight, but just do a shadow there for now, and then now some of these mirrors were really ornate. I just don't know if I want to go that ornate with it, but we'll see. Let's grab the shadow first. So that highlight in there. I'm not pressing X every single second this time. Last time I kept pressing X. Aren't I getting any? It's not selecting. Nope. Control Z. Not selecting the right tone there. Don't know why. I'll just go back in there, fix that up. This needs to actually extend further out past the edge here. Bring that highlight out to here for now. And bring that to there. I don't know if I want the... Yeah, maybe I should do the bottom the same, so that'll be a piece that comes actually all the way across. Let's up the size of that brush there. Just thicken up this area. Actually, let's just fill that. And we'll put the shadow back in there. You know what? I'm gonna do kind of like so the gutter kind of ends and then starts up again there. Put that kind of there. Press the wrong button again. Let's make sure that's fairly parallel there. Now that's probably best if I kind of fill that with the, since that's kind of where the light direction is coming from. Grab a little bit of the reddish brown transition there. Right. That brush size way down again. Grab not quite so intense highlight. Bring that to about there. And just get right around the inner corner there. Yeah. Oops. tone there. Okay, so we kind of got the start of this one here pretty good. Saving the recovery file again, so I'm gonna save in the background one more time again, or save again. I'm just gonna grab this section here. I'm just going to use a brush that's even kind of drier, have even more of a texture to it. So this is the Oil 12 canvas brush. Just going to bring that down in size a little bit. Grab this tone that we had there and just grab a little bit of a lighter version of it and just trying to give this a little bit of directional lighting across it. A little variation. Just to have it more wood-like. Deselect that. See, we kind of we have a little bit more of that worn, kind of like the finish is kind of wearing off of the wood there, kind of look to it. Kind of do something similar for this kind of section here. Oh, if it will let me. This tool should not be that if you put lines too close that it won't select it. It's very, very frustrating tool to use in this program. It's one of the things, if they're going to change something, the feel of that, I would greatly appreciate them going in and looking at that, because there's almost nothing more annoying to me in this program than trying to use the polygonal tool for the selection tool. Come on. Oh, I must have, yeah. Press Control S instead of Control D there. It should deselect. Alright, so we got a little bit of that shape in there. I'll have to refine that, fix that up a little bit more. Just gonna bring that along here. I should probably put in the leg here too. So let me just turn that layer back on. Sure. And the problem is I really do like using the polygonal selection tool a lot, so just makes my enjoyment of this program go down quite significantly when it just doesn't work very well in this program. I mean, you could pen select and do a mask or something, I don't know. Possibly, I'm not sure. But I'm really not a fan of that in this program. And it's something I use a lot when doing stuff in backgrounds and stuff. I just find that it speeds everything up when I can see, like, and you can't zoom in while you've already used the tool, so it's not like you can do big large sections then. It's super frustrating for me. It just slows everything down because now I gotta make sure I can get all of that and the proper view there. And even then, can I pull that? No, because it frickin' selected. Like I said, nothing more frustrating to me in this program than the way that polygonal selection tool works. If I want to put two things right beside each other, just let me. I don't understand why it would have any issue with that. Like, it's assuming I'm making a mistake when I'm doing it. But let me be able to correct my mistakes easily and let me do whatever I want otherwise, you know? I could set up some hotkeys on my monitor probably too. That would make it so I don't have so many issues with the way my monitor's set up here right now. But should bring in that right up to that part of the mirror there for now. So now I've done that, I definitely need to bring some of the more shadow to some of the sections up here. Bigger. And turn off that sketch layer just so I can better see kind of. I'm gonna remove actually my shadow that's behind there just till I get done. It'll be easier probably to put it in after and to get it to look right than to have it kind of in there now. Even maybe along the top here as well. Just so I can get the shape of all of that. Now, once I put stuff in behind there too, it'll make some of this pop a little bit better. I probably also need a little bit more of a highlight on the wood here as well. In parts. Not really liking this side for some reason. Something up in here needs fixing, but we'll get to that in a bit. Just trying to get a little more of that shadow coming across there. Problem right now is I got darker shadows in this figure than I have on this part, so contrast wise it's doing something a little odd. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take that mirror person layer, go to edit, go to tonal correction. I'm gonna go to levels correction, and I'm just gonna bring up the black level there up to the point where it's closer to even on that, but I'm losing some of the detail in there. Oh, and that hand layer, those hand layers need to be collapsed too before I do that, which I should do anyways. So these are the hand layers I worked on last time, where I replaced the kind of rough hands in there with these hands. And when I mean collapse, I just right click it and merge with layer below. So it's just taking those two layers and making them into one. Now I can go into my tonal correction layer, go to level control, bring the black level up slowly to a point where it's similar, but to not lose some of that contrast in there, I'm just going to start pulling this in. It should increase the contrast. Let's try just changing the midpoint, making it all a little bit darker universally, but it will not get darker than what I've set that black level to. And so this was it before. That's what I kind of got it at now. So I'm just gonna keep pushing that a little bit more overall darkness. So that was now. That was before. So there we've even, maybe I gotta raise that a little tiny bit more, not much. So similar. So that's what we had before. And what I want you to look at is just the leg here. And there we go with it on, off. I'm just gonna bring that down a little bit. Just don't want it to be extremely an extreme amount dark, extremely darker than the stuff around it. And then I can bring kind of the darkness level up, probably in this section a bit too, just to match the, oh, what else going on here? There we go. Obtain color, display color. But for some reason it's not going that dark. Could be the brush that I have just doesn't put down enough. So let me just grab a harder brush. Remember, by harder brush, I just mean that that brush is doesn't have any soft edges that feather out. Why am I not getting it as dark as that? See, that baffles me when stuff like that is not working. Just taking that back a bit. And, like, I'm selecting this color, right? So when I draw that, yes, it should be the same color. So what I was on the wrong layer there, probably. What I'm thinking happened. And let's get that lighter. And there should be a little bit of shadow coming across that top there too. Cool. Just putting some of these darker lines in here, it's going to help me kind of make sure the shape of everything is kind of where it should be here. I'm wondering if I should go more ornate with the piece here. Oil 3 brush there again. Just this is really simple, but we're gonna leave it like that for now. There should be one kind of coming across here, kind of like a stabilizer bar in between. That would give some rigidity to everything there. Just gonna take that shadow part again. That would be in shadow probably all the way across. So this is probably going to end here. Put in a leg. to the stand there. And then we're gonna have a little bit more of this part here. That's gonna be where the highlighted part is gonna be kind of there. We'll work on making that shadow on the back of the leg there work a little bit better after. But also remember, she's gonna be casting a shadow on this, so this is probably too light right now, but just gonna grab more of this solid tone here. Along there. More of the solid brown tone. Alright, so we got a little bit of that mirror in there for now. And we'll have to figure out what we're doing with the shadows in there later. For now, we'll just do something like that. Yeah, I figure I'm just gonna kind of rough in everything right now, and then we'll kind of call it a day on that. So, I'm just trying to figure out kind of what I think I just had kind of like slats, wooden slats coming across there, and I had this vase here, if I remember correctly. Yeah. And then we kind of have that curtain that the guy's pulling back there. So we're probably going to do similar kind of wood kind of paneling kind of coming across here. Oh, that's something I gotta remember. Alright, so what I am going to do is I'm going to do that actually on another layer below. Just for now, it's going to make it a lot easier to kind of put something in there kind of quickly. Make sure that's below all of that there. And I still need that back down there. There we go. It's a little red, it's a little bright. Try this brush here. Yeah, that is not bad. I could also maybe put in a different kind of tone of the kind of slatted part of the wall there. What I'm just gonna kind of globally light it first. I can always make the slats with a shade and a highlight, so I'm just gonna do that, I think. Oh, it's saving in the background again. Now I'm also planning on putting kind of like a flame in the mirror image there, and that will really pop against kind of the green there. So like orange is really going to be like the contrast color, red and is going to be the contrast color. That's why I'm kind of using this mint and this kind of like reddish brown here. But I'm going to push it a little bit more into the orange here when I doing kind of light from the side. So I'm gonna use a really soft brush for right now for that, just to get the tones right. I can always go back in and lighten that stuff or darken it up with some texture. This is just a airbrush brush, a soft airbrush. I just want that area to be kind of lit from below like that. I'm going to take this tone too, and I'm going to go into this layer here, and I'm just going to bring a little bit of that oranginess into the highlight area there. Alright, and then when I put in like the shadows back in here, that should really pop nicely. Actually gonna grab kind of tone there. And I'm just gonna grab kind of my highlighted tone there, and let's get light kind of hitting. Oops. Make sure I'm back on the right layer again. Make sure that's kind of hitting the underside there. Now this stuff here I can just erase after. Erase it now, I guess. It's just because that's not totally opaque, but I do like some of that color coming through. You can see it kind of there. Well, that's going to be covered over because I'm going to be doing flames kind of. I'm thinking flames. Kind of in there, so. I'm just going to grab the. So now I can go in there and make that bigger. Bring that down again. And don't forget, I got a big vase there, so that big empty space won't look quite so empty there. Oops. So that would kind of be there. There'd be one kind of in there. I'm trying to get it somewhat straight up, but not entirely. We want things to be a little bit off. So, since people made this, not machines. Plus it will add to the creepiness if things are just slightly off that you can't really put your finger on what exactly is off or how it's off. Can often really add to the tension of something. If you want something to look really tense or intense, you can actually just put in a lot of lines at different angles in the background and stuff. It just has a more anxiety inducing feel to everything. Something you definitely can try your own on stuff. Just getting some little bit of texture to the wood panel there. I just don't want it to look mechanical. Sometimes it can like that, it starts repeating the same shape there. I just want to make sure I don't have too much of stuff like that happening. And if I do have too much, you can just always go in and bring it back a little bit. I'm just gonna grab kind of this highlighted tone. Just put that along that inner edge. That's too bright. So bring that down. Bring that. There we go. It's gonna help those look like they're not, like they're actually there, and that they do have some sort of dimensional shape to them a little bit. I'm just going to put the sketch up over this for a second, just so I can see where I'm going to draw in here on the same layer. Or, you know what, I'm going to go, let's go up to this layer. And I'm just going to grab kind of that purpley kind of shadow tone there that we have been using. Just draw on that vase. You actually get a harder brush. We'll worry about what's coming out of the vase after. For right now, I just had little like sticks and twigs kind of going up. We'll work on that as time goes on here. I just want to have that in there just so I know where it is. Right, I'm just going to put another layer in here for now, so I kind of between these two. Up that. I just want to cast that shadow of this unit in behind there. And this layer can actually, this layer is gonna have to extend. And I'll have to go in with the eraser here and take back areas of it. Actually, I want a hard eraser. Turn off that sketch layer for a second. That looks terrible. Alright, so I'll do that a different way here. So I was just kind of rushing it. Probably should have known better. My eraser tool here. Just make sure the stuff that's coming through there isn't bleeding too much into the image there. Alright. Now the only shadow we should see is kind of like this leg and then that bar, and we should see a little bit of one kind of in there, unless we are going that the lighting is more extreme from this side than this little, because this little light seems like it's might not even be casting against the wall. Only one that's casting against the wall is this light going, or here, let me draw it out on here. So the light kind of hitting the butt here, I'm thinking that's kind of just low down light that's coming up maybe across her pretty much, and that's about it. and then the main light that's hitting and pushing up against the backdrop is coming from this low angle here. So shadow wise, we should have kind of the shadow of that bar there kind of coming across, and we shouldn't actually have much shadow in on the right side at all, actually, if we're doing it this way. Let's get that more even and have that coming across. The only issue then is, what shape would that kind of be casting? Would it be coming up straight, kind of? Or would it actually be... I think it would. It would probably be more of a straight shape. It wouldn't follow kind of the tilt of the mirror there. But this would have to go up higher. Then probably more along the lines of that. And then her shadow should actually be back along there as well. And kind of up into this kind of area. And also up on the wall here should be a little bit more of a shadow from that board that's on the wall. So I'm thinking shadow wise, I think something more along the lines of that would make more sense. Sorry, I just feel like I'm really close to my monitor here to kind of look at it. So I'm looking at my secondary recording monitor here. All right, well, that's getting us a little bit closer to where we want to be. And I think that's probably where I'm going to leave it today. I'm going to think a little bit more about the colors here, but I do have the hands coming over across, covering a lot of this. You know what? Just quickly, I'm going to move that sketch layer to the top of the stack here. I'm going to make a layer over it. I'm just going to sketch around those hands just so I can see kind of where they are. And that will also kind of inform like a little bit of the decision here of how this is gonna go. I'm just gonna go with the lighter color. Sketch, trace what I got in there for his hands. These hands that I drew, I did use reference for. That's why the quality of them off the get-go is a little bit better than say the other hands that I had more troubles with. This one's I was actually looking at a photo of hands like this. And then I also want to just show where I'm put the curtain there. Oh, so I had that built up a lot higher. I'm just gonna right now kind of put in kind of a shape there too, just so I have an idea there. And I also put something along the back there. We'll figure out possibly something that might be nice is if I do kind of like maybe there's a picture frame, some sort of picture going off screen there. Let's just quickly. Turn off that sketch layer. I can kind of see what we're doing there. You know what? I think this detail is kind of just redundant. It's not going to really add much. I was thinking though, possibly putting like a little cross or something up there might be interesting. Let me deselect that there. Put just some sort of cross or something up there. I don't know. Maybe I do need this to go up further. Just a little bit. I just don't want this big huge gap of negative space right there. So we might put that up a little bit up into that section too. And draw kind of this, and there's going to be stuff coming out of it. Picture back here, the indication of something, and make sure that all would end behind her hair there. Yeah, it would. And then we're going to be doing some flames in here. That's going to be tough. Flames are something you can do them where I've seen many different ways, but trying to do them like realistically, if you're actually kind of doing them so you have these you'll have all these shapes that kind of go together, and then there is some sort of little transparent shading that goes in between those sections, and then you have embers and stuff kind of sparking up areas. So we'll see how far we do that. You can just give an indication of fire that looks really good as well. So it's kind of like blown out, so it would just be kind of like a bright section with kind of lighter, going up lighter as it goes there. But yeah, so let's just kind of just zoom in here. I'm gonna get rid of that. And so that's kind of, this is kind of where we're ending at today. Still need a lot more kind of detail in the mirror there, and probably in the background as well. Just gonna need to think about that, look at some more references of different mirrors and stuff, see if there's any kind of little details I can add that just make that a little bit more interesting. I mean, the content of the mirror is the most important part, so I also don't want to go too far in a certain direction with that. Now I'm also looking at, there's kind of like a weird vanishing point kind of going with the top of the mirror and the bottom of the mirror, where I really want those more parallel, so I might have to fix that as well. I should have fixed that in the original drawing, but I thought I had it kind of correct. But I mean, it does kind of work if it's not straight on. I guess that still does kind of work. But it just right now, it's kind of looking at it, it's kind of bothering me a bit. So I might experiment a little bit with that next time too. But we're getting pretty close to the end. Hopefully this won't be too many more sessions, and thank you for watching, and stay creative.